Welcome back, everybody, and if you're new, just welcome. I am glad you clicked on this video. Please don't click away during the intro. I know they're boring, but at least you get to meet me, Terry Squarey. So today we're going to talk about bullet journaling. I know a lot of people are really into bullet journaling, and then the rest of the world has no idea what bullet journaling even is. To explain it very quickly, it's basically a hybrid of a diary and a planner. And the beauty of it is that you can make it whatever you want. So background on the bullet journal. I had to do some research for this because I understood the general gist, but to tell you guys about it, so something else entirely. So the bullet journal was originally designed by a guy named Ryder Carroll in, I think, like the 90s. He designed it for himself. The reason he designed it is in order to better organize his own thoughts on paper and keep track of his actions. He specifically stated in a TED Talk on his website, on the official bullet journal website, he wanted to be able to make better decisions and keep track of the choices he was making, so he can really visualize, okay, how much time am I spending on this one action that I don't even think about. After using this method for a few years on his own, he shared his system with his friends, and he found that a bunch of people were actually really enjoying the system and wanted to do it themselves as well. And so that's when he kind of took it public in, I believe, 2013. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. He took it public, and then it kind of blew up from there. And it's kind of blossomed into this whole different thing, this whole archetype of basically art expression. And it really doesn't have to be that. The only thing you need for a bullet journal is the actual journal and a pen. That's all you ever need. Everything else is just extra. It's fluff. And it is extremely fun, and that's kind of what led me into bullet journaling. But it's extremely unnecessary. It does not have to be expensive if you don't want it to be. But you know me, I like to be a little extra. All right, guys, sorry if that intro seemed really long. We're finally on to showing you my bullet journal for 2021. This is from Notebook Therapy. It's the Tsuki Fujisan, in case you wanted to buy it in the original size. It's got 160 GSM paper, which, for those of you who don't know what that is, I just learned myself. It's just the thickness of paper. It holds up much better to different pencils and markers and things like that, and it won't bleed through quite so easily. Generally speaking, the first page of your bullet journal will be the date and maybe your name. I decided to put my phone number in there just in case it got lost, and I added this cute little flap that I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with yet. But as you can see, to make up for my lack of art talent, I add ripped papers and glue them on, and like stickers and things like that. It's just a really good way to add interest to your page and just make things aesthetically pleasing. Your second page should really be your index, and your index is going to be used, obviously, to keep track of everything that you're writing in your journal and where it is. The next page is going to be your year at a glance. I'm calling it yearly view in mine because I didn't want to write year at a glance. And it's basically just going to be your entire calendar, every page. I didn't want to write everything out, so I got some stickers, and then I realized the stickers didn't have anything on them, and I still had to write it out. So be smarter than me, guys. The next page is going to be, well, it can be whatever you want, but what I chose to do is my year in review, which I added just a couple photos just so you can kind of take a look. Most of them were from last year though. So I'm just gonna keep adding to it as I go this year, and then you can see my January spread on the next page. So a common thing that a lot of bullet journal groupies do is write things in pencil first and go over them with pen afterward. And then as a final step, you can just take your eraser and erase all the pen marks, and it's like they were never there. It's a great way to test things out, make sure that your spread is something that you like before committing to it with pen. To make my journal pages, I just take a ruler, and like I said, with a pencil, I would make my grid lines and kind of section out everything as I would like it to be, and then go over it with pen after. I wanted to go somewhat minimalistic with some torn paper in kind of an old style feel. And then I'm turning to my February. I really wanted to make February super gaudy, super a little over the top, and I think I did a good job on that. It definitely is very busy compared to January. I love how January turned out with how simplistic it is, and February is just like bam. My March spread, I wanted to be very dynamic and use my wedding colors, but then I realized I don't have any paper in my wedding colors, so I just opted for black, white, and gold, and I think it's pretty cute. Looks kind of wedding-y. And then my April spread I'm particularly proud of because I think it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I do wish I had a little bit more of a matching lettering for the April word. I only had capitals, for example, but it's okay. I still think it's an absolutely gorgeous spread and turned out great. Same with May. I also think May turned out really good. I personally like the April one better, but I really do like how this turned out. I just tore up different pieces of paper and kind of played around with the placement. And June, I wanted to do a little something different, a little something fun, vibrant, and I think I pulled it off. It seems kind of an odd thing for summer. It seems more spring maybe, but I just took some cardstock and made sure that I cut it in a way that matched, and then I took some markers to the edges to keep those lines going. July, I thought it was very fun, very girly. It's a gorgeous spread in my mind. I mean, of course I did it, so I made sure it was to my liking. So I hope you find some inspiration from some of these spreads, because I wanted to show you a lot of different options that you can do without really needing to be good at drawing or calligraphy. This next spread I think is my actual favorite, just because of the colors. They're really dynamic. I actually matched them to a set of stickers that I bought, and I actually ended up having scrapbook paper that matched, so I took it from there, and I think it turned out really cute. In all my spreads, I always like to leave at least a little section for notes in case there are some things that don't fit quite all the way in these little boxes, because they are pretty small, and so I can only write a couple things in each. Oh, here is my October spread. I wanted it to be very Halloween-y, and the only stickers I had were extremely juvenile, so I gave it my all. And it's honestly my least favorite spread out of all of them. But then we get to November, very simplistic, very neutral. I didn't really know what to do for this one, to be quite honest. And then December, same thing. I didn't really have anything that was like Christmas themed, so I just did red and green, and I don't really care for how it looks too much. But the red paper is kind of fun. I just don't really care for how it turned out. So here is where I am adding my yearly goals. And these are just the big brain goals that I'm really hoping to have sorted by the end of the year. If some of them don't make it, that's cool, I guess. But it's just things that I would like to happen. And I recommend writing things in pencil first, although it didn't work all that well for me. I still wrote extremely crooked because I am one of those people who cannot write in a straight line to save their life. Let me know in the comments if you're like that too. I would love to not be alone. So I couldn't decide what stickers I wanted to add. I didn't want to just draw bullet points. I wanted to be more fun than that. So I decided to test out one of these stickers with this white backing. But as you're about to see, it didn't really look right on the page right here, and I ended up just taking it off. I found these other little star stickers and they worked much better for this page, so I decided to use those instead. On the next page, I wrote my daily goals. That was redundant, but I wrote my daily goals. These aren't things that I think will definitely happen every day, just how I imagine my ideal day to go. And I just kind of wrote them out in an organized way. And then I went over it with this mapped pencil, which is similar to a micron pen. I know I have a lot of goals in this journal, but the next page is my mental health goals, followed by my YouTube log and then my YouTube goals. So my YouTube goals is really just things that I want to be able to accomplish on YouTube, whether that be, subscriber count or just learning new tips and tricks for videos. I wanted to be able to have a place where I could take a look at that and maybe check some things off. Whenever you're learning a new thing, sometimes you really don't see how far you've come. And so actually writing it down in a way that you can actually refer back to later and be like, oh, I did that. When last year that was unfathomable, that's a really good way to just keep yourself grounded and realize your accomplishments. All right, I know it's been a long video, but we're almost done with this bullet journal. The next parts that I'm going to use for the bullet journal, I'm not going to do in this video, but they're just going to be regular journals / basic bullet journal kinds of things. And so if you want me to do an update later on how that goes, just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see, and I may update you later on what I do with the rest of my bullet journal. Since I don't have any of my own to actually show you, I'm just going to talk a little bit about mood trackers and habit trackers. A lot of people will use these to either create new habits or get rid of an old habit, or just kind of keep note on what they are and aren't doing. And people can get extremely creative with the way they draw these out. I still don't know what I'm gonna do because, as I said a million times, I'm horrible at drawing. I know that you can on Etsy, you can buy printouts of people doing different bullet journal spreads, and I think that's what I do, because there's no way that I'm gonna draw out this whole business. Here's a picture of the one habit tracker I tried, and to be honest, I didn't even use it, so it was a waste of time, and it's not even that cute, but I tried. Anyway, that's what habit trackers are, so I definitely would recommend looking up on Instagram for bullet journals and habit trackers, and also on YouTube, or a lot of resources in that kind of realm. There are tons of videos, tons of pictures to give you inspiration and to fill in the gaps if there's anything else you'd like to know that I didn't cover in this video. Also, I'm going to have the resources that I use, the videos that I had clips from, and also some of the resources that I mentioned down in the description box, as well as links to where you can buy both of the journals that I showed you in this video, in case you're interested in buying one of those. As I was talking about earlier, it really makes the bullet journal thick to put all that paper in. So if you are gonna go the scrapbook kind of route to decorate your bullet journal, I recommend doing it not on every single page like I was doing, because it made it really thick and it made it really hard on the binding. And now for a comparison of my two bullet journals, my old and my new. So one of them was $6 and one of them was $25 plus shipping. So can you guess which is which? The more expensive Tsuki it has more pages and it has thicker pages and it has a nicer binding. Whereas the $6 blue one is a little bit taller. Only has, I think, around 140 pages or 160, I'm not sure. And the page color is a little bit different. I have the bright white in the Tsuki, and in my blue journal, it's kind of an off-white, almost a yellow color. That being said, it's still very nice for the price, and I would buy it again. Let me measure it for you right now. I can't even read that. What does it say? So it's like 7.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So it's like, I thought it was supposed to be, okay. And then this other one is 8.5 by 5.5. So 8.5 by 5.5 is a smaller one, and I'll link that where I found it in Amazon, because I highly recommend this notebook. So this notebook, it is definitely not like quality compared to my Tsuki, but I wholeheartedly recommend this one as like someone's first bullet journal, or if they're not going to use a lot of markers on their page, if they're going to use mostly pens or other things like that. This is perfect because this is $6. This cost me $6, and with shipping included and everything, this cost me $30. And I don't really regret it. I don't know if I'll buy it again, but I don't regret it so far. But this cost me $6 on Amazon. So obviously, you know, if you're just starting out, wholeheartedly recommend. I actually added this sticker. It was not there. I also recommend buying clear stickers like this because they're just so gorgeous. I love the clear stickers. They just make everything, they just elevate everything. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my bullet journal flip through. My 2021 bullet journal flip through. If you are inspired to do a bullet journal, or if you are already doing one, I would love to hear all about your pages, your decorations, your spreads. I would love to hear about all of that in the comments. I may even have a link to my Instagram, and you can totally tag me. Next week, if things go well, I should have I don't know. All right, I don't know what video is going out next week, but come back next week for another video from yours truly. And if you enjoy this content, please think about subscribing and clicking the bell icon. It does help me out, as I am a very, very tiny baby creator. And I am just starting in the world of these craftings and gaining skills. So if you want to see my growth and grow with me, think about subscribing. It really does help. Anyway, that is all for today. Goodbye.